What's up, guys? Welcome back in. It is the JE Live Show, and I am Jake Ellenbogen. This won't be super long, but I did want to discuss the recent events of DeSean Jackson requesting a trade from the Los Angeles Rams due to seeking other opportunities. Before we get into it, please be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment. Let's interact a little bit. I'll be doing this for about 30 to 45 minutes. So, figure we'll just get this going. But what's up, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well on this Friday. A little surprised that on a 6-1 team, a player's asking to be traded. I somewhat get it due to the fact that, I think DeSean Jackson was told, I don't want to say promised. It's not the word usage I want to go with. But he was likely told that he would have a bigger role than what he has had. Obviously, this is somebody that has been, a huge equalizer over the top when used. But for the most part, he has kind of fallen out of favor in getting those key snaps. And the reason being is because second-year man out of Florida, Van Jefferson, second-round pick, has really answered the bell. And I think not only has Van Jefferson started to develop at a increased rate, but on top of that, I think Matthew Stafford himself is very much comfortable with, throwing to Van Jefferson, as you saw against the Lions. So I think the DeSean Jackson thing, it's a bummer. I definitely like the fact, one, he stayed healthy. Two, this is, again, the equalizer, averaging, nearly 30 yards per reception. But at the same time, I get it. I really do. 34, 35-year-old player here wants to get more involved. I don't want to be the guy that says he cares more about personal accolades than he does team accolades. I don't want to be the guy that says he doesn't care about winning. But I will say this. I does that say 406? Holy hell. All right. Well, welcome all of you Facebook people. I've never seen that number on Facebook. Dear God. So, yeah, I don't want to be the person that says that DeSean Jackson doesn't care about winning. I just think that it's a little bit of a shock. It's a bummer. When you have a team like this that's 6-1, an offense that's explosive, and you have a player that, like I said, is an equalizer. You go back, you look at the Tampa Bay game. Pretty good example of that, where you have that deep ball over the top, and it's like, how are you going to defend DeSean Jackson, in the playoffs? And I think that's really what it comes down to. So it hurts. It hurts. It does. But at the same time, makes sense. If he wants to get another opportunity, there are places he can go. I'm hoping that, at least I'm hoping that Les Snead isn't about to trade him away for a 2030 6th-round pick. I want to be kidding. I want to act like I'm just joking, but I'm not. I hope they get something for him. But what I'll say is this: the Rams are going to be fine. It is unfortunate. I do like DeSean Jackson, but they're going to be fine. They are. And I think a big thing here is that it does offer increased opportunity for Jacob Harris, for a Tutu Atwell, for a Ben Skoranek, because while you look at DeSean Jackson's snap count, it was diminished, because of Van Jefferson's emergence. It wasn't just zero. He was still getting snaps. He was still getting some opportunities. So those opportunities will have to be had by a Harris or an Atwell or a Skoranek. Now, what I will say is that with this move, the game check and everything, because he's already been paid 6-7 game checks, whatever you want to call it. This, trading away DeSean Jackson and where they're at right now with the cap would get them around, let's see. So they'd have about $7 million in cap space, which does beg the question whether or not that they would go after another receiver. Because I will say, looking at Sean McVay in the presser today, he didn't seem annoyed. He didn't seem upset. He didn't seem happy. He seemed disappointed. And furthermore, what I'll say is that with people talking about it, and everything, about the trade and constantly bringing up during the presser, he kept saying, I don't have the information. I will, when I have more information, I'll get it to you. but I can't stress enough, he didn't look exactly, he looked disappointed. And I feel like I do believe him when he said, he was part of the game plan this week against the Texans. And furthermore, I'll say this in case you guys, I don't think I said earlier, but if I did and you guys didn't hear me for whatever reason, DeSean Jackson will not play on Sunday. They are very much looking for a trade by the deadline, Tuesday, November 2nd at 4 p.m. Eastern time. That is the trade deadline. And they'll try to meet that. They'll try to get that. They'll try to meet that. So that is a big thing for them at the moment, is trying to trade DeSean Jackson. Another thing here is that, with $7 million in cap space, while they do need cap space to be able to make those moves that they continue to make off the practice squad and elevating and paying those guys, because you have to pay them, game checks when you elevate them off the practice squad. You can't just pay them the practice squad rate. So because of that, I do have to say that, not all of that cap, but some of that cap could be used with that. However, keep this in mind. There are some receivers around the league. And if the Rams, and they seemed kind of disappointed with the whole DeSean Jackson dynamic, if they were not planning this, if this is just being called a mutual decision, when in reality it was DeSean Jackson's decision, and they look at Tutu Atwell and they say, you're not going to be good enough for the playoffs this year, you're a long-term asset, Jacob Harris, Ben Skoranek, and they feel they need a fourth guy, there's some guys around the league. I mean, first off, Allen Robinson with the Chicago Bears. Allen Robinson and company, I mean, really, the Bears don't look like they're going anywhere this year. The supporting cast hasn't been there for Justin Fields, and Justin Fields really hasn't been there for the supporting cast this year. So, I mean, Allen Robinson could be an option. Kenny Golladay in New York could be an option. Obviously has that familiarity, with quarterback Matthew Stafford. I'm not going to go here necessarily, but I know Marvin Jones playing on a, one-win Jacksonville Jaguars team. He could be an option, but maybe not even those guys. What about Odell Beckham Jr., where you bring him in for a year and you have your fourth guy, and Odell comes in and you pay him, $6-7 million for this season, and then I think it guarantees in March next year, his full contract guarantees for the rest of the year, which would be like $13 million. If you cut him before then, you don't owe him anything. So the disgruntled wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. is an option, I think. And on top of that, I would say Brandon Cooks. I mean, I know he had his issues with the Rams, but I think Brandon Cooks wouldn't mind going to the Rams right now, seeing as he's with Houston. So it is interesting if the Rams are going to look at a wide receiver. A question I will probably get from people is, where on earth could, I'll say this. Where on earth could DeSean Jackson go? So for people that still like DeSean Jackson, they care about DeSean Jackson, or people that aren't Rams fans that are in here, where could he go? And I will say this. I think the Chargers make a lot of sense. First off, he stays in L.A., he's got a deep ball thrower of the football that can make all the throws in Justin Herbert, and they have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So, they're really missing that other guy. I do think Josh Palmer over time can be that guy, but, there's a guy there. Another option, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost Juju Smith-Schuster for the rest of the year. Deontay Johnson is their best route runner, and all of a sudden Chase Claypool has been figured out on the outside and really isn't that great of an outside threat anymore. Really should use him as a big slot receiver. So, with that being said, maybe DeSean Jackson makes sense. I mean, this is a team that's had Mike Wallace. They've had, guys along the lines of, a Sammy Coates, a Martavis Bryant. If you're looking for that guy to stretch the field, I do think DeSean Jackson makes a lot of sense, since he's like almost averaging 30 yards per catch. I think the Chiefs make some sense. However, I think they have more pressing needs at their defense, but adding another guy there might help out Tyreek Hill a little bit, and Travis Kelce. I've always been pretty low on the Chiefs receivers outside of the big two. On top of that, though, I would say the Browns make sense. I don't think this would be an even swap necessarily for Odell Beckham Jr., but I do think they make sense to a point. I would say the Colts make sense because the loss to Paris Campbell for the rest of the season. I think the Titans make sense because Julio can't stay healthy. And then after that, I think Green Bay makes sense, but I don't think the Rams would trade him to an NFC team. I just don't. Green Bay, you don't want to play DeSean Jackson in the playoffs. I mean, if you play him in the Super Bowl, I think you'll live with that. If you play him in the wild card game against Green Bay, I just don't think that makes any sense. So, wild card, divisional, whatever. So I think they'll avoid trading him to an NFC team. I know the Vikings would be a good fit, him with Thielen and Justin Jefferson. But, I think all in all, there's going to be a fit for DeSean Jackson. It doesn't matter his age. I think the Rams can get this trade done, and I'm not going to be surprised, if that does happen over the course of the next, few days. So I do think the Rams, with this said, though, they'll take this opportunity. This is cap space they didn't have before if they do make this trade. And around $7 million on the books, I think that they do make a trade. I think this does change the game for them. I do think that they would make a trade. So, that's definitely something that I'm looking at for sure, with that being said. So, all in all, I'll say I don't know who the Rams are going to trade for. I don't think it's going to be for a linebacker. I know there's a lot of people out there that want it to be for a linebacker. I just don't see it, to be honest with you. I just don't. But if it's a corner, Amani Oruwariye of the Lions, I keep bringing him up. He's a guy. With $7 million, maybe you facilitate a trade for Xavier Howard or a Byron Jones, or maybe it's something small. But either way, I do think the Rams are going to make some sort of move that's bigger than just, your everyday waiver claim or something like that. So keep that in mind. That's where I think, that's what I'll say that. Joseph, thank you for donating. I appreciate you. D Jackson, Robert Woods for Tyreek. No, no, that's not going to happen. But I mean, D-Jax will be traded. I don't see them cutting him. I think they'll be able to find a trade partner for him. I mean, even, Denver might be an interesting option there since they have some injuries. Obviously, KJ Hamler, Jerry Jeudy's coming back from injury. Maybe, Denver already kind of, admitted that they're not done. They're continuing to fight, and that's why they traded for Kenny Young. So that's what I'll say there, is that I think that's really the direction I'd be going in. Okay, let's see. The Rams need more help on defense. That is all. They are so good, man, coming from a Packers fan. Yeah, I think they just need another corner. I wouldn't necessarily say they are, going to get a linebacker. I love linebacker because I know there's a lot of people that are like, well, Jake, like, why wouldn't they trade for a linebacker? I thought, and it's like, hey, I'm not hating on the linebacker position. I'm telling you, the Rams don't value it as much as you and I do. I think a linebacker position's fun. I think it's, it's valuable. It is a, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, really, I think it's a flashy position, but I think it's a necessary position. If you could go out and get like a Deion Jones, why wouldn't you? But the Rams just don't value that position, probably because they have Jalen Ramsey in the star role, and I do think it kind of takes a load off of everyone else. So I think really that's what it's come down to. Plus, they've really built their team, from the inside out. I mean, look at the interior defensive line. I mean, you had Sebastian Joseph Day. He's going to be hurt this week and not play, but you do have him. You have Greg Gaines. You have Ashawn Robinson, Bobby Brown, who's gotten like no opportunity whatsoever because of how deep this crew is. You have Jonah Williams. You have, Michael Hoyt, and then Aaron Donald. So, I think they've done a nice job building up their defensive line. It's made their linebackers look better. On top of that, you have Jalen Ramsey, Darius Williams. So I just think that's kind of why that they don't view it as much. Plus, they play in nickel so much, and they play in the one linebacker sets. Like they were doing Kenny Young, which is surprising why they traded away Kenny Young. That I don't think that they'll go for a linebacker. If they were to go for a linebacker, we've talked about it. I think the most sense would probably be Miles Jack based on just like his overall level of play. But, I don't see that happening. I think it'll be a corner. Maybe it'll be Marcus May of the Jets, safety. Maybe it'll be a receiver. But I think if you're looking for the Rams to make some blockbuster trade for a Roquan Smith or anybody like that, it just doesn't make any sense. Because you have to keep in mind, Roquan Smith is on a rookie deal. Roquan Smith is on a team that has a young quarterback in Justin Fields. This team is probably going to blow it up to a degree and just build around Justin Fields and Roquan Smith. He is a cornerstone piece. He's not a guy that you would trade. However, if the Bears were making defeat, they might decide to trade, say, Eddie Jackson. They might decide to trade, somebody like that. But they wouldn't be trading like a guy like Jalen Johnson or Roquan Smith. So you can pretty much expect those guys to not be traded. Okay, T-Jax from Marcus May. That would not work. Brandon Browning is retired, I believe. So no, he's not available. There's so many comments, and I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. I'm pretty sad. Jake, are we saving up to make a move? Asks Will. I honestly think there's going to be a move. I do. Yeah, Whitworth is out, and Sebastian Joseph Day is out for the game against Houston. So you're going to likely see Joseph Noteboom at left tackle, and at nose tackle, you'll probably see Greg Gaines, who, let's be honest here, Greg Gaines deserves it. He's played very well in limited opportunities. He's super efficient. He could start if they needed him to. Kind of leads me to believe that maybe Sebastian Joseph Day might not get brought back because of just they don't have all the money in the world, and he might start next year. But that's what I'll say. Who's your favorite subscriber besides me? That is way too difficult, and I'd have so many people hating me, so I'm just going to say I don't have a particular favorite. I have favorites. You know how you know if you're my favorite, one of my favorites? You're in here all the time. You're constantly interacting. You're constantly telling people to hit the like. I'm not going to, have everyone hating me, but you people know who you are, that I care a lot about. I mean, I care about all of you, but my favorites would be the people that are constantly watching all of my stuff. I do really appreciate that. I also did not expect Facebook to blow up this much. I don't understand it. I put it on Downtown Rams. Okay, so this is on the Downtown Rams Facebook. I don't know why this is blowing up so much. I know Downtown Rams Facebook has 4.6 followers or whatever, but this never happened. So I don't know how this happened. I don't know. This never happens. I get about 10 people on Facebook at max. So this is pretty cool. I have 721 viewers live right now. Pretty awesome. Notification Squad, those are the people as well. Yes. Do appreciate that. Do you think someone trades for trades for Djax with 3 days left in the deadline? They could. If you could get Djax out to your facility, I mean, he could help you this weekend. He's not going to play for the Rams. So, if you could get that physical done, he could possibly suit up on Sunday. And obviously he doesn't know the offense or whatever, wherever he's going, but he could just play, be that one trick pony, use as a decoy, whatever. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it if I needed a receiver like that. I don't know if I'm about to go viral, but I do appreciate the over 700 views I've gotten live on this thing. Pretty cool, not going to lie. Oh yeah, the future 6th round pick. You mean the 2030 6th round pick? Yes, I can't wait for that either. Yeah, so I mean, really, what it comes down to, what deal before the deadline would move the needle the most for the Rams, in my opinion? I mean, I think trading for Byron Jones would be the best move the Rams could make. That's like somewhat possible. That would probably be where I would go. Now, guys, I do want to point out something. I teamed up with Chancer.com or Chancer the app, and right now we have a Fan of the Month challenge to, in November, win a $100 Fanatics gift card. All you have to do, let's see if this thing zooms in. All you have to do is sign this thing up. I'm going to drop a link in the comments. And all you have to do, I don't even know what that is. All you have to do is sign up, drop a link in the comments, and you just, it's like predicting the game. some of the things in the game, like who's going to have a touchdown, yada, yada. And you can potentially win a $100 gift card. So it doesn't cost anything. It's just a cool game. I have 31 people sign up this week. We gave away an $89 Fanatics gift card last week. So if you're interested, definitely go with that. I just dropped it in the comment section. So let's see if it ever. Oh yeah, there it is. The hat. It was a gift. A gift from my brother. It's the Taylor Rapp Rams hat. But yeah, great question. But yeah, guys, hit the Chancer the link and sign up, and it's free, and you can win a gift card if you get the answers right. And it's made by yours truly. I did make it. So, honestly, wouldn't mind getting Cooks from the Texans now. I wouldn't mind that either. I love Cooks. Big Brandon Cooks fan. Has Miles Jack been good this year? Don't watch Jack's games. Yeah, he's a good player on a pretty bad team. That's the best way I can put it. Very athletic. You know, that's what I'll say. So, give me some Marlon Mack team predictions. I don't know what that even is. Did you like the Kenny Young move? No, I would probably describe it in 20 different ways to say that I hated it. I despise that move with a passion. I want Rams to win it this year, but only because Stafford deserves it. Let's see. 2-2 the truth. We don't need anyone. Tennessee Titans got DeSean Jackson from the Rams. Just now? Huh. Did that really just happen? I'm trying to find it. I don't see anything on that. Byron Jones or May would be nice. Yes. Jake, the Rams limited trade for only one player. I don't know what that means. What's up, Matthew? Thank you for donating. I appreciate you. Did the Rams trade with the Titans or... Okay. I was going to say. Steven, you're killing me over here. Oh, gotta. Okay. No trade has happened yet. I didn't think so. I have Twitter up right now, and I just didn't see anything updated. Oh, no worries, Steven. Yeah, I actually have the Titans as one of the teams I thought that he'd be a good fit with. Yeah, right? All right, what other questions we got? This wasn't going to be too long. I hate to leave my 530 Facebook people and my 166 YouTube people early. I do have a lot of stuff planned for tonight, so I won't be on too late, but anyone have any other questions? I think we'll do the Rams Texans preview. We'll do that tomorrow, as well as both the YouTube video and Alexis and I on the podcast. So I think that'll be the plan there. Everyone be sure to like this video if you didn't already. Just give it a thumbs up. Really does help me out. Not a question, but looking back, hot take, Van Jefferson has been one of the best wide receivers from his class. You're right. You're absolutely right. Van Jefferson is off to a great start here in 2021, and you know, he kind of pushed this trade. I mean, I'm not saying he's the one that asked for it, but his play put DeSean Jackson in this position to want to request a trade. That's what it comes down to. That's a good problem to have. What's up, Jake? The Kenny Young trade is still a bit of a head scratch to me. Also, D-Jax on the way out bothers me because his experience and speed was key in certain spots. Yeah, I hear you, Brandon. I think I was more upset about the Kenny Young trade than I am about DeSean Jackson requesting a trade. Kenny Young was a starter. DeSean Jackson's wide receiver 4, So, obviously, asset, obviously, makes plays, but Kenny Young trading away a starter like that is just mind-boggling to me. And based off his non-endorsing comment about the possibility of Jackson returning, he's probably. Is Will coming back next week from IR? There's a chance. There is a chance. I can see Jackson going to the Jets. Love the hat. Thanks, Eric. I love it too. I got it from my brother Tyler. He gave this to me as a present. It's an awesome hat. It works. If you're a Taylor Rapp fan and you're a Rams fan, this is the hat for you. Can win all your picks. D-Jax and Stafford were not connecting as well as the other receivers. Well, what a week for the Rams. Yeah, right, Nolan? I'm not complaining. It helps me out. Extremely disappointed that D-Jax is more concerned with his playing time and stats rather than the team's success. It happens. I'm not going to get too much, I'm not going to blame him too much. I get it to a degree. I think part of it is you realize your career's going down. It's not the same as it used to be, and you're trying desperately to find some playing time. I don't know if we'll find that anywhere else. I mean, theoretically on paper, he should find that, but I don't know if it'll work out the way he thinks. I hope it does, though. I do like him to a degree. I do think we can use a cornerback, B. Jones or X. Howard available. I don't know if they're available. It's just kind of a thought process of mine. Like, well, Miami only has one win, I think, I definitely think getting Byron Jones would be the way to go. I think no one wants to admit it. He is better than Xavier Howard. He's 1 year older, but he's better than Xavier Howard. Do you think Van Jefferson can be the same deep threat that D-Jax was, or will it be 2-2? We need a deep threat. I don't think we need a deep threat. If you look, Van Jefferson averages the most depth of target, average depth yards per target. I probably butchered that, but anyway, his ability in that area is really why they were able to make this trade, or really why they can make this trade and not worry about it. I'd be here for D-Jax for Darius Slay. They would never do that, but I'd be here for it. Delaney Walker, I think he's a free agent. I think he's available. That would be interesting. Make sure, guys, that you are thumbs-upping this. It helps for, future watch-throughs. It's going to tell YouTube and, Facebook or, wherever you are in the algorithm, like, hey, I'm a Rams fan, I like this video. Or, hey, football fan, I like this video. And they'll recommend it to other people that are the same. So please do give this a like, thumbs up, whatever it is. Just do it. Really do appreciate it. Okay, so not all about sacks. I know he caused that interception last week. Any tight end you could see us training for, I can see us trying to replace Munt's blocking skill set. I don't know. I won't rule it out. I'll say wide receiver, tight end, corner, and safety are all I can see them going after, to be honest with you. Jake, are the Rams limited to trade for one player during the deadline, or can they afford more? Well, they can afford more if they get, a cheap option here and a cheap option there. It's not really a matter of quantity. It's more about a quantity of players, so to speak. It's all about how much they're going to cost. I can just tell you I don't think that they're going to trade for a linebacker. I really don't. What percentage of snaps was he even playing lately? He was probably around the 20% range. It got low. What's up, DeSean? Serviceable cornerback. Zach Cunningham is available for trade. Yeah, I just don't think they're going to trade for a linebacker. I just don't. Yeah. I mean, I'd love Brandon Cooks back, but, I don't know if it'll happen. But I'd enjoy having him back for sure. I don't know what they'll do with Tutu. Sean McVay's recent comments led me to believe Tutu Atwell isn't really close to where he needs to be. That's why he's not even returning anymore. It's why he's lost snaps in special teams. It would just be weird if he lost snaps in special teams, but then all of a sudden was the fourth receiver. I mean, maybe that's what they'll do, but it would seem like a weird thing. I'd love Brian Poole. I don't know if they'll actually sign him, but I do. I'm a big fan of his. $193. Let's get over 100 likes, guys. Pound that like button. Or thumbs up, whatever you want to call it. Boom. Joe Hayden. I don't think the Steelers are going to trade Joe Hayden. I don't think that they're moving on from Joe Hayden. The Steelers are very much in the thick of things. So they're 3-3. They're a win away from becoming the 7th seed this Sunday, in the AFC. So they're not about to trade anybody, I don't think. They might trade for somebody. I think they might make sense for DeSean Jackson. But I don't see them trading away any assets or anything like that. Joe Hayden. Oh, yeah, I just saw that. Facebook is booming. Oh, I mean Meta. Oh, dear God. Yeah, I don't know where the Facebook love came from, but I'm not complaining about it. Is Jalen Ramsey playing? Yeah, he'll play. I mean, I know he's a little banged up, but he'll play. We'll be fine. Don't need a deep threat. I feel like we're back to square one when I was saying to everybody we don't need a deep threat. Justin Hollins is towards the end of the season. You'll probably see him back. You can tell why they like Ben Skronik more so than Tutu Atwell. Having Cooks back is intriguing, but I think a corner safety is more important for the long run. I do agree. Facebook/Meta is satanic. It's not like he's happy with what we're doing. He's helped our defense out a lot, but we have so much depth in our wide receivers. They're firing on all cylinders. He wants to start simple. He's currently sick, but expected to play. Trade for a solid defensive player. I have a feeling Jacob Harris might get some looks. I do too. Not COVID related, no. Akeem Hicks. I don't really think they need any interior help on the defense. I think their defense is pretty good right now. Almost at 100 likes. Let's keep it going. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Who's Sugma? I don't know who that is. No, guys, the defensive line, they're not going to trade for anybody on the defensive line. I don't see it. They're pretty good there. Rondale was probably off the board by the time Tutu picked, I think. People always dislike my stuff. It's no big deal. If people dislike your stuff, that means you're doing something right. As long as other people also dislike, people like your stuff. That's another thing. I wouldn't say Tutu was a wasted pick. It was a questionable pick, but, he's more of a long-term guy. Yo, Jake, I don't know why I'm so heated about this news. None of it makes sense to me. This could have been storybook for Djax, hometown, Super Bowl team, relationship with head coach, just a couple missed throws from Stafford. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's probably more to it. I'm sure, we don't know what he was told when he signed. We don't know what he was promised, if he was promised anything. And he honestly might have just been sleeping on Van Jefferson's development. I mean, that honestly could have been it. Maybe he thought he was, was an easy wide receiver 3 role, and Van just really came to play and ended up winning the job. This is why I don't buy jerseys so close to buying a D-Jax jersey. Yep. I like Howard in the DB's room. Like and sub people. This is some of the best Rams content. Appreciate you, Daniel. Jake, what's the draft comp? I can't even talk. Jake, what's the draft compensation you think the Rams would get for D-Jax? I see nothing more than a 6th-round pick, unfortunately. I guess it depends. If a team is really desperate, maybe they could offer a 5th, but then Les Snead would probably ask for a 2025 5th, which then they would accept that without a doubt. Have you heard the Swift rumors out there? I haven't heard of any Swift rumors. There's no reason for the Lions to trade Swift. He is a long-term asset to their future. I don't see it happening. What's up, Ram fan Ashton? How we doing? DeSean's best chance at winning a Super Bowl is here. I don't understand. This is why you buy throwback jerseys over current ones. Non-factor due to non-use. I'd say I'd want either, if I could pick any of the likely candidates to be traded, I would say Byron Jones or I'd say Byron Jones or Xavier Howard, but preferably Byron Jones with Amani Oruwariye coming in 3rd. I just don't see them training for a linebacker. How do I feel about it? Kenny Young trade had me pissed. This doesn't have me pissed, though. I think I'm just kind of, it's a bummer, but, like, I get it. It's, it's kind of like what, what's his face says all the time, DeMarco Farr, when he's like, love the sport, hate the business. It's kind of that deal, But, yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for being part of the biggest stream I've ever had with live concurrent viewers. I've never hit over 800, which I just did not long ago. So I hit over 800 viewers live. That's pretty awesome. So I do really appreciate that, guys, because I almost didn't, just because I was having some weird issues with getting it to go to Facebook, I almost didn't stream it to Facebook. I almost streamed it to like my personal account. If I streamed to my personal Facebook, it wouldn't have gone to Downtown Rams. Downtown Rams clearly would not have, wouldn't have had the success it's having right now on the Downtown Rams Facebook page. So I do really much appreciate that. Man, that is a lot of views. Green Bay is a huge problem. I don't think they're a huge problem. I think the Rams can beat that team. They were impressive last night. Defense looked good, obviously, even without, Jair Alexander. But that receiver group, if push comes to shove, the Rams hold them to a 4th down. I just don't trust that receiver group enough. You double Adams, and you could probably take, I don't know. I think the Rams are a better team, personally. But I'm glad they won last night. Oh, then that's not really a rumor. That's just kind of an opinion. It's an opinion-based article from Sports Illustrated. But it makes no sense, in my opinion, to trade away DeAndre Swift. Thanks, Jobo. Appreciate you. I'm sure there's a chance D-Jax stays. But, that's only if they can't find... they can't find a trade partner. But then, of course, it probably comes down to then you cut him. I don't think this ends well, is what I'm saying. I don't think this ends in, I think once it gets out there, once it gets leaked by NFL Network analysts and what have you, it's a pretty big conclusion that this is going to be it. Like, DeSean is not coming back to the Rams. But never say never, I guess. Do you think Big Wit isn't playing Sunday because it's the Texans? We can afford to... No. I don't think Sean McVay is ever overlooking a team. Whitworth and SJD are both hurt. Whitworth has a knee, And SJD has a pec injury. So I think they're holding him out because of that. Well, I don't know why you're skeptical of the 49ers game. Right now, I don't know who the 49ers can beat. I have them barely beating the Bears 20-19, but they don't look very good. They're in some trouble. Stafford's going to go off on Halloween. No boom and gains can hold it down. Totally agree. 93 likes. We're almost at 100. And reminder, if you want to have a chance to win a $100 Fanatics gift card, hit that link right there. Answer some questions about the game on Sunday against the Texans. And you'll have a chance to win as you continue and, it progresses throughout November. So it's the Fan of the Month challenge. I'm more worried about the Titans. Big receivers are trouble for our small corners besides Ramsey. That is if Julio Jones even plays. Bobby Brown gets some looks on Sunday, maybe, Jake. I do think he's going to be active. I just don't know how much he's going to play, But I do think he'll be active. All right, so we got 34 people that have signed up. Let's keep it coming. Right there. I gotta love those when the notifications come up. It always startles me because I never know what's gonna come up. Yeah, Julio just hasn't been able to play. He's just been hurt all year, which is, by the way, not victory lapping injuries. But I said over and over and over and over again, this is why I didn't want the Rams to get Julio Jones. Can you imagine if the Rams traded Van Jefferson or Robert Woods away for Julio Jones right now? It'd be awful. Part of the problem with this DeSean Jackson trade is the fact that, I think what people forget is, DeSean Jackson's getting traded because DeSean Jackson, wants playing time and he's behind Van Jefferson. This is a next man up league in a 17-game schedule, and there is a chance that Kupp, Woods, Jefferson could get hurt. I mean, this is a dangerous sport. So to have to trade away DeSean Jackson, it's a bummer because all of a sudden you feel good about your depth with 4 deep. And then now it's like you have to rely on rookies. The next 3 are all rookies. So that's something to keep in mind. Should Julio be dropped in fantasy at this point? Guys, like 10 total points this year. It's tough. I guess it really depends on your league. If you don't have an IR at this point, yeah, I don't know if I would hold on to him. I don't know if it's worth it. But it is a long season with the 17-game schedule. Yeah, I don't know. I think it really just depends on your league. If you have a lot of spots, there's no point. If it's just a giant roster, I'm not dropping Julio Jones. But if it's one of those smaller ones where you only have 4 bench slots and you have no IR, yeah, I'm dropping him. Do you think McVay learned anything from last night's Packers win on how to beat Arizona? Hopefully. Hopefully he saw that, you have to be able to run it against Arizona. I would imagine. I mean, the Packers didn't do anything I didn't expect them to do. Do you guys remember what I said in the breakdown of that game? I said over and over again. As soon as someone runs, as soon as someone figures out that, Vance Joseph's run defense is just not very good, this team can be beat. This team almost lost to the Vikings. Run against this team. Keep Kyler Murray off the field. Jake Jackson is 100% gone. McVay did not sound committed to the idea of D-Jax returning. If a trade didn't happen during the press conference, the we not me culture McVay preaches is for real. Yeah, I think I just felt like Sean McVay was disappointed. It did, like I said, I didn't feel like he was pissed. I didn't feel like he was upset. Like, I didn't feel like he was angry or anything like that, or obviously happy. He just looked disappointed. He looked shot. It looked like, he was shocked and really just did not want to answer any sort of question in regards to that. And it's hard for him. He coached him with Washington. They're friends, so, I mean, I'm sure that does hurt to an extent. But on top of that, like he said, he was part of the game plan this week against the Texans. So it just makes his job a little bit harder. And, it's definitely frustrating, obviously, when you have that from that standpoint. Trade for a corner and sign Golden Tate. Well, maybe they do sign Golden Tate now. maybe that's where they go. I personally wouldn't do that. I wouldn't risk pissing off, Jalen Ramsey, but, Yeah, D-Jax is his guy. He likes D-Jax. I won't say he's toxic. We don't know, guys. It's so hard. It really is. I mean, I'll say this over and over again. What it comes down to is this, okay? We only know what we are, what's reported for us to know, right? So, with that said, there's like a fly, like just go away. With that said, like we don't know if someone were to come out and say DeSean Jackson had a toxic behavior in the locker room or whatever. If that report came out, okay? That report was leaked or it was, made up. And I just feel like we're so quick to be just like the first thing we hear is, yep, that's right. That's the case. But we don't realize that like what happens behind the scenes because we're not there. And furthermore, the media, like the, reporters and whatnot can only do so much. I mean, some of them are just toxic and they'll literally change the story to what they want it to be and create, a narrative. While others are truly trying to report a story and be a journalist and try to give us information that we would not know. And they can't even get the story because the story is so wrapped up. So it's one of those things like where I would tread very lightly, on that, and be very cautious when starting to associate a player with toxicity because we just don't know. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Kevin Durant, and I have the suspicion that a lot of the blowback, say on Russell Westbrook with, Oklahoma City Thunder, I feel like a lot of that was on Kevin Durant, plus he left to go to the Warriors. But I don't know for sure who Kevin Durant is as a person. I don't know how that ended. It's the same thing with Kobe Bryant and Shaq. I think everyone just kind of gravitated. Well, Shaq was the lovable teddy bear, and then Kobe Bryant during that time, people were just like, oh yeah, he's selfish. He's all about himself, whatever. And so they gravitated towards believing in Shaq. I just don't think when it comes to stuff like that, and I know that's a different example when we're talking about football, but I just don't think it's fair for us to be like, he's toxic. You know what I mean? Because we just don't know. We don't know. What if Sean McVay flat out told DeSean Jackson, hey, we don't plan on using you anymore, okay? We like Van Jefferson. And then in order to make it so his stock is still up here and teams don't think that the Rams are trying to get rid of him, they allowed the report or leaked the report to be that DeSean requested the trade. We don't know. There's no way for us to know, and we'll never know because the only time that we ever find any sort of, any sort of knowledge in that sense, and the only time we educate ourselves is when we hear from other people, right? It's like when I'm told something and then I reach out to a source and they try to confirm it. Guys, I'm only hearing from that source. I'm not hearing directly from the source. I'm hearing from a source. That is the thing. And so when we are really quick to be like, this guy is a jerk, or this guy is trash, or this guy, whatever, we don't know. Because at the end of the day, you're never going to hear directly from the source. You're going to hear from people inside the organization. And I'm not going to say everyone has an agenda, but if you get things out there, if things leak, okay? Things leak for a reason. And clearly the DeSean Jackson trade, the Rams, I don't think that, I'm not about to say that they were trying to keep it under wraps, okay? I'm not about to say that at all. What I would say is this. I would say that DeSean Jackson's agent probably wanted to get out in front of this before the Rams. And I think that he pushed it out there to get people to gauge and talk about it. That's what I would say. So I'm not about to sit here and say that DeSean Jackson is toxic. I'm not about to sit here and to say DeSean Jackson doesn't care about winning. I'm just telling you, this is what's happened. These are my thoughts. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I wish him the best of luck. You know? So, I don't know. And guys, in the comment section, let's avoid talking like that. Okay? That's not the place for this. That's not the place for this. This is this is a community. This is a well-built community. This is not a toxic community. I won't have that. So please avoid the toxic behavior in the chat. But I'm just saying that, I don't think that's the case. So now I'm using toxic everywhere. Any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap this thing up? So does this mean Tutu gets more snaps? It could. It very well could. I don't know for sure. But it could. It feels off that Sean McVay would give Tutu more snaps after Sean McVay said that, he felt like Tutu had a lot of growing to do. And he's lost special teams and return snaps because of it. That would just seem an odd thing. With this move with Jackson, if we really do nothing to bolster our defense, I don't know how we can justify letting our most stable linebacker go, and now this. No, I hear you, Mark. And by the way, thank you so much for donating. Really do appreciate that. I hear you. I don't know why they would do that. I just, I don't think it's going to be for a linebacker, but it very well could be, at the end of the day, it very well could be for a corner. It could be for a safety. It could be for an edge defender. I mean, but I just don't think it'll be the linebacker because the Rams just don't value that position as much as others do. They just don't. They didn't pay, Littleton. They didn't keep Kaiser. They had him on the practice squad. They didn't want to pay him more, so he went to the Broncos. They literally just traded away their starting linebacker to save $1.4 million in cap. I mean, if that doesn't tell you that they don't care, I don't know what will. They just don't care about that position. So, team's not falling apart. No way. The fun NFL, why in the world would the Rams trade DeSean Jackson? Because he wants to be traded. It's pretty much that simple. Jackson only caught 1 or 2 passes a game. Wide receiver room is too thin if we trade Jackson. I do agree with that, but they don't really have a choice. I'd rather they get Cooks before Austin if that's the case. I wonder if they do go for Tavon Austin. They're not going to go for Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin is in Jacksonville. They're not going to trade for him. I don't think the Rams are falling apart, but with this head-scratching trade could affect the locker room. That's a very real thing. Now, DeSean Jackson requested the trade, okay? I don't think DeSean Jackson would hurt the locker room. But, I mean, we're going to see with Kenny Young. We have not seen this team play without him, and that is a locker room guy. They loved him. So we'll see. But, I mean, I do think that's realistic. Brandon Cooks or D-Jax? I mean, that's a no-brainer. I would go with Brandon Cooks all day. Jake, what are the cap consequences for trading or cutting D-Jax? You would save about $3.2 million coming into the season, but since he's already had some game checks, probably looking about half of that, around half of that, maybe around $1.8 to $2 million in cap savings. Anyway, it would put them at about $7 million in cap. So they'd have $7 million cap to spend going into the trade deadline on Tuesday. Jake, are you excited at all about the Eternals? I know non-football related question. Hey, I answer all questions. I mean, I make references to the NBA when I'm talking about the NFL. That's just the way my channel is. Do not worry. If you want to ask me about movies, Rams, whatever, I'm answering questions. It doesn't matter what it is. Just keep it clean. Yeah, I'm very excited about the Eternals, Daniel, and you actually reminded me. I got to buy my tickets for next week. So thank you for that. Can this relationship be saved, Jake? I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it. I don't think it's a toxic relationship. I don't think DeSean Jackson is mad at anybody in particular. I think he just wants to play. That simple. So I think the relationship in a sense is fine, but the work relationship is not, as in he wants to go somewhere else. Thank you, Sean. Really do appreciate that. Appreciate you watching every time. You know, just trying to... It's funny, I was going to go live all day, and then this happened, and then I feel like, you know, I believe in signs. Everything happens for a reason. And I was like, the DeSean Jackson news coming out was telling me, man, you know, I really need to go live. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I can spontaneously go live and get my most viewers I ever had. I had over 800 plus viewers on the stream at once. We're down to 308 total, but 800 at once was just really cool. Let's see. What's the story about Young? I'm out of the loop. Young got traded for a bag of beans, and he's a starting 25-year-old linebacker, so we don't really understand why the Rams just gave away a 25-year-old starting linebacker just to save $1.4 million in cap. Yeah, he wants a bigger role. D-Jax is not better than Cooks. Cooks is a absolute stud. He's the only receiver in NFL history to have 1,000 yards on 4 different teams. And what he's been able to do this year, despite the fact that there's just not a lot of quarterback play being played by Davis Mills, I've just been super, super impressed with Brandon Cooks. Just kind of goes to show you, no matter where he goes, he still makes an impact. So, you know. I mean, it's hard to tell, totally not, Jay, because what players can the Rams realistically afford with $7 million cap? I mean, you know, I couldn't really tell you. I mean, it really depends. There's going to be some bending over backwards if you want to get a guy like Byron Jones or Xavier Howard. You're going to have to, you know, manipulate the cap. You're going to have to make other moves. You might have to extend Matthew Stafford and built in, while the, you know, the extension is happening, have a built-in restructure that kicks in this year to allow such a move to happen. So that's the key there. You should do a collab with Tom Grossi when the Rams play Packers. I'd love to. That was actually my first vibe. I was like, you know what? I really want to do that with Tom. I'm a big fan of his channel, very big channel. You know, and I think that would be a lot of fun, you know, especially because I watch Packcast whenever, you know. He's great at what he does. I'd love to have him on. They always have the option of extend Stafford to save cap. Cooks is legit, still productive in dumpster fire organization. Let's see. Cooks would be happy to leave that crap show in Houston. Cooks will get traded for another first. I don't know. Stafford is targeting Kupp so often because he's open. He's the best receiver. It's no more complicated than that. Why not just involve Jackson more? I fear they are going to rely too much on Kupp. Grossi times JE collab. Yeah, no, I know. We got to do that. I'll reach out to him. I'll probably send him an email and see if, you know, I could get him on here. Maybe I could go on there. Be cool. But yeah, I've been thinking that for a while. That's another thing. This is why I love my comment section. And, you know, I was reminded, just in my comment section alone, I was just reminded to reach out to Tom Grossi for a guest spot on my show or his show. And then I was just reminded earlier to buy tickets to see the Eternals. So love my comment section, always there for me, always looking out. Really do appreciate you guys. Take my chances with our receivers, but if not Melvin Ingram, we need a strong corner edge. Why not just extend Stafford now? This is our window. And there's a chance they might do that, Mark. Again, thank you so much for donating. Really do appreciate that. They might do that. It just, it's a wait and see approach. And, we will definitely find out. I think Monday is when things will start to come together. The ball might start rolling. Maybe they trade DeSean before the game on Sunday. Maybe they trade him on Saturday, whatever. But, things are starting to come alive. There's going to be trades. I mean, things are starting to come together. Now, keep in mind, the go-to trades have already been made to the Panthers. Stephon Gilmore earlier and CJ Henderson would have highlighted the top trades at the deadline, but they happened earlier. So that's something to keep in mind. Jake, I just hope they make some good moves so we're a little bit more efficient. No, I hear you. I'd like to make another move or two if it was conducive to winning football. I'm not about to just make a move just for a big name, like say OBJ, if I don't believe that OBJ can help and help them win and what have you. That's what I'll say. I would love to see Cooks, Kupp, and Woods get back together. VJ is blossoming as well. Yes, 100%. Not really shocked about that. Hey, Jake, when's the next Devil's Eyes pod? Frankie, we do a Devil's Eyes podcast every other Wednesday. So it's going to be so you take, every other Wednesday we'll do a Devil's Eyes podcast. Not this upcoming Wednesday, but the next one. And we're not really sure if we're going to do it based on Ice Nine Kills, Welcome to Horrorwood, and just break down the album, or do, a particular horror movie or a horror movie genre. But we're definitely excited for it. So we're probably going to put together we're going to have a poll, I think, on Twitter, to vote on different ideas. So that's what we'll do. CJ Henderson would have been great. Would have absolutely loved that. Where did I get the hat? I got it from my brother. He got it for me for a gift. It was the Taylor Rapp Rams hat. So what's the most you would give for Cooks? It's hard. I don't really know what I would give for anybody because offhand, I don't really know what the Rams have as far as picks, but I would try to make a Cooks trade happen if I could. I just don't know what I would be able to trade since the Rams traded so many away. Will you pop on live when the trade go down? As long as I'm able to, I will. If it happens when I'm asleep, obviously I won't go live because I'll be asleep and I won't know. If it happens when I'm awake and I'm near my computer, I will. If it happens when I'm out and about, probably wait until I get home because, guys, I didn't go live and do a live thing after the Giants game because I didn't want to do it on my phone. I'm a big fan of keeping the quality consistent. I want you guys to turn on JE Live, turn on anything on this channel, and know what you're getting. Know that you're going to get this presentation. Know that you're going to get this camera, the Michael Myers mask in the back, the yellow and the blue lighting, the Rams hat potentially. I want it to be a consistent thing, okay? And that is why I don't do those videos. I may have shorts here and there, like YouTube shorts. That's not the same. I won't go live on my phone because I can't put together this presentation on my phone, if that makes sense. So I'm a big believer in keeping things consistent, keeping the quality consistent, because I want it just like how you guys, you turn on Netflix, you turn it on, whatever, whether it's on a PS5, an Xbox, or, it's your Roku TV. And you turn on Netflix, and what are you constantly getting on Netflix? You're getting your watch list, and you're getting your recent, viewing sessions, whatever you were last watching, and then you're getting the constant catalog. I want it to be like that. If you watch this, you can expect it's going to be me. You can expect it's going to be the same quality, and you can expect that I'm going to give you the same 100% that I give every single stream or video. So that is a big thing, and that's why I don't do live streaming on phones. Because I know people are asking me, why don't you just why didn't you go live after the Giants game? And I'm like, that's why. I just don't want to have any drop off in that, I will say this. I did do a video when I was in Florida taking care of my grandfather, and I was at the hotel, and I remember I was still using this camera. So I didn't have my typical setup, but the camera was still fine. I don't know if I would have gone live. I didn't go live. I don't know if I would have gone live, but filming, that's different. I'm not going to do a camera live though. You know what I mean? So I just don't have Handsome Eric. I don't have much footage from the game. I really enjoyed that game. Just being there, being there with Alexis and Dan and Blaine and my friends Tyler and my brother, my father was even there. Like it was just so cool to kind of soak it in. I'm a big fan of, taking video and whatnot. Like I do that at events. That game, I never felt any sort of, I wasn't compelled to do that. I just really much enjoyed watching the game with my own eyes. So I didn't get a lot of footage, and that's why. Samuel, thank you so much. I just saw that you donated. Really do appreciate that. Keep up the good work, Jake. I certainly will. I mean, we're pretty far away from my goal that I set early on in the year when I said I'd get to 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But we've had a pretty strong year. We did just hit over 700,000 views thanks to you guys. We hit over 7,400 YouTube subscribers, which actually we're on a really good pace right now. I think we can get to 8,000 by the end of November or sooner. And then we're over 7 million impressions. So we've been, pumping stuff out. There's, some sponsorships on the way because, again, this is like my full-time job. So those donations and joining the channel and whatnot, joining a channel membership, can't stress it enough. It helps me out huge. Those on Facebook that want to get involved as well. This is just on, this is on YouTube as well. What I'm talking about, you can check that out. But yeah, no, I really do appreciate you guys, hanging with me and making this always a fun time. And, just I'm hoping to be more diverse with this channel. I've done it before. I've dabbled with it. I really want to take advantage of the fact the upcoming Resident Evil movie is coming out in theaters November. I want to get back to doing that playthrough because the new movie is loosely based on the playthrough that I was doing, the Resident Evil 2 playthrough. Want to play some more Madden. I want to play some Call of Duty. I just want to get more gaming in here because I do find that fun. And what I like about the gaming is that I can game, but I can also, be in touch with you guys, and I can talk, and I can answer any sort of questions. It's an Ask Me Anything, just like this. So, it's big that I continue doing stuff like that. And then I like doing the random movie reviews. I want to rank my horror movies, things like that. So that's why it's called the 85% Rams channel. And I really do appreciate people that just follow this just for Rams. You guys are awesome. But I also really do appreciate people that understand that I'm not just sports oriented. I have my other, likes. Sports are up here for me. I mean, it's my favorite, right? Football is here. Rams are here. Every other team is here is what I always say. But with that said, I still have needs. Like, I still want to talk about the MCU. I still want to talk about horror. And I really do appreciate that a lot of people that watch this understand that I have those interests and still are interested in those and follow me. I mean, big shout out to, Nolan and Frankie and anybody that really, joined on Wednesday to watch my Halloween recap podcast, The Devil's Eyes, with my co-host Jarrett Bailey. Really do appreciate that type of stuff, man. It goes a long way. And the big thing here is that it's telling YouTube that you like it. It's telling YouTube that you're not just here for the Rams content. So even if you don't like it, adding that one click and being in there for like 2 minutes still helps me a ton. So I really do appreciate that. And I just try to make this channel me. This is a channel about me, but it's not just, I can't stress it enough. It's not just about me. It's that I want to share this stuff with you. I want to have fun talking about the Rams. I want to have fun talking about the NBA when I do. I want to have fun, talking about the MCU and the horror movies and all that. Seriously, we've had so many amazing streams that I still have not forgotten to this day. I will never forget the stream we were talking about. We were talking about Rams, and we talked about Jalen Ramsey and what have you, switching his number. And then we started talking about Falcon Winter Soldier, and then it got into like the horror movie section, and that, it's cool, man. It's really cool to have that. So, that's pretty much all I got. I just want to, again, I always want to say that I appreciate that. yeah, I really much enjoyed Halloween Kills, Jose. You know, I think it was a good one. Part 2 out of 3. So we'll see how Halloween ends next year. You guys with the Eternals, I don't know if I'll do a video on it, but you know, I'm happy to do a live stream and see what you guys think and you know, share my thoughts on that when the time comes, as well as the Spider-Man movie that I'm so highly anticipating. Per usual though, with the Rams content, since 85% Rams on this channel, keep that in mind. 85% Rams channel, we're going to be having the Rams Texans preview YouTube video tomorrow. That'll come out some point tomorrow. And then on top of that, you know, we'll have we might do a pregame stream before the game on Sunday. Maybe even a fantasy football one, a stardom situm. And then we're going to have a post game. And then I'm going to keep monitoring the status on these trades and what goes down, because I do want to make sure that I'm available and I'm live and I can hear you and you know, take your questions, comments, concerns, and, you know, address them. Because I do want to make sure, you know, when stuff like that happens, you got to have that sense of urgency. And right now, since, you know, I'm not entirely self-employed, because I am also, you know, writing for the game day. But since I'm mainly self-employed, you know, I'm my own boss. I set my own time to work and whatnot. I don't feel like there's any excuse that I should ever be missing, you know, stuff like that. So, I'll be on that. We'll get that together. As far as, you know, gaming, that'll start taking off, I think. But, you know, I really think I'm really enjoying this. I can't stress it enough, you know. It's not even November yet. If you went to 2020, at this point last year, guys, I hadn't even started this channel. This channel kicked off on November 16th, if you didn't know. So it's just, it's surreal how much this is, you know, this has helped me. Not just, like, helped me as far as, you know, monetizing and whatnot, or helped me, like, grow. But it's also helped me with, like, my mental state. So I really do appreciate it. I did just see Frankie. By the way, thanks for Devil's Eyes for introducing me to Ice Nine Kills. I'm liking some of the songs. Let's go. Yes. Yes. If you like horror movies and metal, check out Ice Nine Kills Welcome to Horrorwood. It is maybe my favorite album of all time. Can't stress that enough. But you guys take care. I will see you guys soon. It's been a blast. It's been a complete pleasure. We had over 2,000 views just on YouTube. We hit 800 plus viewers live. You know, combining all of them. Facebook was huge today. You guys know Facebook's never that big. Facebook got big today. So that was really cool to see. But we'll continue to do this. I like doing the live streams more than I like making videos. I can't stress that enough. I like, you know, doing this. I feel like this is more me. There's not as much structure. It's just me being me and being able to interact with you amazing people. So I love doing this. I'll be doing this more. I know I kept saying it, but this week I think we've done a lot of them, 3 or 4 of them this week. So we'll see you guys soon. You guys take care. Be safe. And I will see you guys. Next video is tomorrow, but I'll see you guys live likely on Sunday. So you guys take care. Enjoy your weekend. Later.